Hello. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon. How are you all doing today? How are you all doing today? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Just read Reginia's books. Hello, books. How are you? How are you? Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. Woo. Thanks for being here. Yes, you're number one in so many ways. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't want to mess up something. Let's see if I can do something here. Let's see. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. Hello, Miss Patty. How are you? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here. My midday chat, folks, my midday chat while I get these steps in. And I am charging up my Fitbit. I was charging it up. I might want to put it on so we can do what it's supposed to do. Thank you all for joining me. I do appreciate it. So I am going to get right into it, folks. I am not going to hold you long today. I do have, of course, the tornadoes that happened there in Tennessee. And a Asperger girl told me about it because I did not. Sadly, a lot of times I don't watch the news, and sometimes I don't see it in the clips that comes to my thing, etc. But yeah, prayers to those folks out there. And this morning when I was doing the live, I was reading about, I think it's like 6 or 7 folks that had, I think it was 6, they did not make it, they lost their lives. So prayers to those folks, prayers to those folks. Hello, Mercy, welcome in, prayers to those folks and their families and all those that are affected. Of course, know people, lost homes and just everything. These natural disasters and everything else that is going on and happening all at the same time is just something. But prayers to the folks there in Tennessee. Prayers to the folks there in Tennessee. What else? Another thing, and maybe it's just Maryland, but it could be other states, but I keep hearing this commercial with regards to Medicaid. If you are on Medicaid or know of someone in your family, friend, colleague, etc., that is on Medicaid, please make sure that they check to make sure that they don't have to enroll or rather re-enroll in the service. I know for some places it's automatic, but for Maryland it isn't. I'm from Maryland. That doesn't affect me. That's neither here nor there. Information is power. Someone that may be helpful to someone. So if you or you know of someone in your family that is on Medicaid, make sure that they re-enroll if that is the case, and it may just be automatic because you don't want to lose your coverage. You don't want to lose your coverage and have to go and find all these different pieces of paper to get on this particular service. I know about that because I've done that in the past, and that is not a good thing. A lot of work. Another thing that I saw, and I do have a thing here because I don't want to mess it up. And please make sure, and I know that I mentioned this several times during different lives and maybe pre-recorded videos with regards to the Food and Drug Administration, their website. You can go to their website and sign up for their automated emails that will tell you all the different type of recalls for food, drugs, etc., cosmetics, and a whole host of other things, I am sure. Hello files, that you can get daily or however often. Once a company reports that they are having a recall or people shouldn't buy something or throw something out, etc., you will have that information for you, your family, and then of course tell your children, cousins, friends, relatives, etc., all that good stuff. But 3 things, and this was on the Martha Stewart website to check your pantry for. It was posted yesterday. It didn't give the time. But nonetheless, it goes on here. It says canned sodas, and the recall includes 417 cases of Diet Coke, 14 cases of Fanta Orange, and 1,557 cases of Sprite. And the cases and distributed in Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi. It says the soda was packaged in 12-ounce aluminum cans And then it goes on to give the UPCs and the Best By dates, what have you. And another thing that came to my brain, and I don't know whether they sell sodas in schools or not, whatever in my brain has to, because that is what it was when I was going along. I didn't know whether they had it in the younger grade, in the more junior grades or not. But if your kids are going to high school or whatever, and they allow them to purchase sodas, etc., and if you're in one of these states that it is, please make sure that you tell your children, grandchildren, etc. And I guess if people work in these, some places may have, if people are back at their in office building, may have machines, etc. And these sodas may be in there. So just please make sure that you're checking for yourself and make sure that you pass the information to your children, grandchildren, etc. All that good stuff. Wherever they may have a soda machine and you go and purchase sodas in those three particular states, was Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi from this report out of Martha Stewart. The next thing was sun-dried tomatoes. And if you go to the FDA website, God, I hope that they have this information here. I'm not seeing how the Martha Stewart website folks would know and the FDA wouldn't. The affected products are Aviator brand sun-dried tomato halves, and it's recalled because they contain undeclared sulfites, and it doesn't have a pH, it has FI, but nonetheless, and those people that are sensitive to it, serious risk or life-threatening reactions, if they consume it, etc. So please make sure that if you eat those type of things, someone in your family eats sun-dried tomatoes in this particular brand, that you make sure that you're checking for that in your pantries, your refrigerators, all of that. Hello, Tamika. How are you? How are you? Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for being here. I do appreciate it. Whew. Yes, Miss Patty, there in Alabama with you. Yeah, please make sure we don't want you or your family, Mr. Tyler, or any of those folks consuming that type of thing. And the last one was cantaloupe, and I think I mentioned that before, but please go to the FDA website to make sure that you get all this information. And of course, like I mentioned before, you can sign up for the email that will send you this information all the time. And of course, when the company, corporation, whomever, the meat packaging or the fruit packaging folks, when they report the information or when they find out themselves, and hopefully they are reporting it to our government via the FDA, then we get that information. Sometimes, they have things happen and we don't learn about it until after the fact, and then we can go and get our money returned, etc. And we hope that that is all that we can do, that nothing happens to our family, ourselves, our family members, where they get sick, hospitalized, or something beyond that. But cantaloupe was one of the things that was recalled also a little bit way back for the US and Canada. Please go and check that out. It says the fruit, it contains salmonella, and it gives all the particular numbers, etc., with regards to cantaloupe. So please just make sure you're checking that. Always something, folks, always something. Whew. How is you guys' day going? How is your day going thus far? It is Thursday, folks. One more day left for the 5-day weekers. One more day left. What is the title of this? Inflation and health. And as always, I found a story with regards to inflation. I'm not going to read all of it, of course. I'm going to read just a few bits of it and give commentary along the way. And the title is from Yahoo Finance. If you want to go, Yahoo Finance. I'm turning pages and trying to talk. Hello, Mr. Aretha Butter Roll Boutique. How are you? Welcome in all. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Yahoo Finance. Andrew, Lisa. Maybe there isn't a comma there, so I can't say it's Lisa Andrew, but nonetheless, done today at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What isn't? Title, Inflation Might Be the Least of Your Financial Worries in 2024, experts say. And mostly what the story talked about quite a few things, and you can go and check it out at Yahoo Finance, was in regard to inflation. Yeah, we know that inflation is going on, but what other things are happening while the inflation is happening within ourselves or with our families, etc. No one wants to spend another year feeling financially helpless. And under this subheading, it says, however, in part, However, inflation is ultimately a temporary phenomenon influenced by broader economic factors outside individual control. Well, yeah, we know that. Sometimes when I read this stuff, I just get mad and I go off into another place. Yeah, we know this, folks, preaching to the choir, but I get it. They have to put all the information in there for folks that, may or may not be, or that may not be aware, and this is their first time hearing about inflation, learning about inflation, etc. But yeah, what is temporary? What is temporary? It's been going on since a period of time, but nonetheless, I'm gonna go on. But the absence of individual control is central to inflation-based restlessness. Watching your limited dollars steadily lose their purchasing power is a helpless feeling. And it is. The part of the article goes on to say, you have little money already, and then with the little money that you have, you're not able to buy as much each and every time because the prices keep going up for gas and food, etc. And you're buying less each and every time. What does a person do? How is that working on a person's mental, their psyche? It's crazy out here, folks. So people, like the article was saying, mostly people are feeling hopeless and helpless. And when that tends to set in, we know what can happen. Your body starts to react to your feeling, thinking, and being hopeless and helpless due to inflation. And I'm sure that there's other things that have been going on for most of us, not everyone. There are other things that have been going on even before the inflation set in. And so now it's being exasperated because of it's being blown up more and more and more because of inflation. And of course, it's money, capitalism. We need money to buy food, clothing, to shelter ourselves. Hello, Cherry. Hey, Cherry. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. So now people may be getting sick or maybe having some anxiety, some mental things going on with them, etc. A little depression due to inflation, not having enough money. And the money that we do have, every time we go to the grocery store, where it's less, and less, and less. So it's crazy. And welcome into all that I may have not spoken to. I'm trying to do this and read the thing here. Mercy, hopefully I spoke to you. I'm quite sure. But yeah, when people have no control or perceive a lack of control, it's even harder to cope and easier to sink into a mindset of hopelessness and despair. So what happens if a person gets to that point where they're starting to feel ill? You might get sick. You might have an injury because you're so preoccupied and focused on something. You may have, an injury at work or just, in your home, or you're outside walking on the sidewalk or in your car or something like that. What happens? We all know what happens. And it's possible that some of us may have been affected by this. If you get sick or any of those things, then you're missing time from work. And if it's, something that's ongoing or will be ongoing, then that's more time away from work. No work, no money for most of us. And if you can get unemployment, etc., I'm sure there are rules and regulations with regard to that, and that's a great thing. But it does not replace your income. So yeah, there's a spiraling effect. You're not working. So the other person that is working, if you have two incomes and now there's only one, the other person is going to start to feel the strain. And we don't want that person to, start to get ill, start to thinking, oh my God, how am I going to manage? All of this is just one income. And then of course, the internal things that happen with the communication, et cetera, with the two people when one is working and one isn't. Sometimes these things happen. It just gets to be a big mess, folks. It gets to be a big mess, and no one wants that. But these are some of the things that inflation can bring on when it really starts to get into your mind and your psyche. So that's why having some outlets, release of bad energy, the bad vibes, this craziness about money, inflation, etc., is something that we all need to start doing, etc. If we're just walking, doing some yoga, meditation, etc., And of course, the main thing is working on our financial picture. Working on our financial picture is going to help us. We know in my brain, I don't think it's going to go away. And if it does, and I see the report saying that inflation is going down, et cetera, where, I don't know. But we know how they, well, we don't know, but they do the numbers to make it beneficial to them. This is, and next year will be an election year. So there's that. But we have to start to do the things in our own lives. We see that inflation has been here and it will be here for a period of time. And if we know that our situation isn't the greatest already, we need to start to implement to do something differently. Worrying about it, etc., is not going to change the picture. And I get it. I don't want to be worried about it. I don't want you to be worried about it. But it's just human nature that we do when we think that we, and like the stories bring about, are hopeless and helpless with regards to our financial situation brought on about by inflation. But we have to do things we need to do. We got to put the work in, or else we're just going to keep on having these feelings. The inflation, the prices are going to keep going up. We're going to keep having these feelings and nothing will get done. Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. Also, while you're out sick, if it's ongoing, etc., then if you do have a credit card, you're probably utilizing a credit card to help you pay your bills, etc., all that good stuff. Not good. Eventually, your credit may be tapped out. Not a good place to be. Not a good place to be. And also, when other people find out that you are sick and you're down on your luck and you can't make some of your bills, then you start to feel shame from that. And now things are compounded. I'm going to take a little break in the thing, folks, and the walking and talking to do trivia. Name that artist, folks. Name that artist. And this is a band. Multiple choice. The full name of the band must be in the chat. Only one turn, one time. You can only guess one time. You can only answer one time. And of course, the prize is you get your link dropped in the chat. I am going to rattle off 3 songs that this particular band did. You tell me the name of the band in the chat. The first one to get it. I Spill It Girl is here to catch who does it first. The 3 songs are, first, number 1, Crash Into Me. Number 2, The Space Between. And number 3, Where Are You Going? I rattle them off again in just a moment. The 3 songs are Crash Into Me, The Space Between, and Where Are You Going? Name that artist. Part of our trivia here, folks. Part of our trivia. One guess only. Full name of the band. Like I mentioned, it is a band in the comment in the chat. And you get your link drop if you name that artist. Ooh. Name that artist. Oh. Never heard of that. Oh, you said to me. I'm sorry, I thought you were answering. Cherry. Anyway, back to the thing until someone answers just a little bit. Stop laughing at me, Cherry. Just a little bit. Also, with regards to when you're anxious or you get ill, sick, etc., with regards to inflation, not having a job because you got sick, ill, and it's something that's ongoing. Your quality of life goes down also. And too, when you have very little money to spend each and every time, it is possible that your quality of life will go down. And your quality of life is whatever you deem your quality of life to have been prior to all of the things happening. So go back over it again. It's name that artist. I am going to give the name of 3 songs, and you have to tell me the name of the band in this particular case. only one, you get to answer only once in the chat. You only get one time. You only get to answer one time in the chat. You only get to answer one time in the chat. The 3 songs are Crash Into Me, The Space Between, and Where Are You Going? Name that artist, and in this case, name that band. Full name of the band in the chat. Full name of the band in the chat. Get your link drop if you guess correctly. One guess per person. One guess per person. Whew. But yeah, health is wealth, folks. Health is wealth. To make us think about it, health is wealth. And of course, as you all know, this is a budgeting channel, and I mentioned in my diatribe, in my monologue about getting one's finances together and in shape. As you all know, I am over here trying to do that also in too. So we see that this inflation has been with us for a period of time, and it has shown itself differently to different folks. Maybe with the housing prices, someone was trying to save for a home. They were going along just fine, and now they got hit with inflation, and now they're not able to contribute anything or very little to maybe their down payment on their home. Y'all get what I'm saying? So maybe in this particular case, they are not being able to contribute to their down payment for the home is really having an effect on them because they are tired of renting. They are tired of doing all the things that renting entail, all the things that come with renting. They don't want to be living so close to people. They are afraid that something will happen in one apartment and then they will be affected, i.e. fire something, and that can happen any place. But you all get what it is that I'm saying. The effects of inflation are different for each and every person. The effects of inflation are different for each and every person. But getting that money together and right is going to be critical and key and helpful to you. Don't know about this one, Jerry. Yeah, it's one that's a little bit different than what you may have been expecting to come from me. But yeah, getting that money together is going to be key and critical, folks. And wherever you are right now with regards to the inflation, et cetera, hopefully you're not so overly, hopefully you're not so pressed and worried about it, or worried about it at all would be great, but I get it. I mean, we are human, and okay, what will next week bring? Will I have we got all these things to think about even before you get to the end of the week and get the check. Will my job go away? Will there be cutbacks? Will there be layoffs, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You got all of that to possibly think about also and too. But besides all of that, do your best not to focus too much on it, but just know that this thing is out here, that people are feeling hopeless and helpless, and this might even outside of inflation itself. But now when you compound that, and the inflation, of course, is regarding money, and maybe some of these other things were also too, you just got to do what it is that you need to do to get it together. And if getting your budget, doing a budget, cutting back on something is going to be helpful to you right now, then do that, because if you really think about it, or just maybe think that it's only going to get worse, it's not. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better, as some of the old folks used to say. And maybe that might be the driving force for you to do something different, for you to do something differently. Well, I am going to give up the ghost in a few moments. I'll go over it again. I almost said it. Crash Into Me, The Space Between, Where Are You Going, are the name of 3 songs, and the band. The band. Here's the answer, folks. Dave Matthews Band. Those are the 3 songs that I knew from listening to their music, or his music, because he's the lead for the most part. Dave Matthews Band is the answer to the trivia question. And of course, the last thing on this in the story says that if you are already struggling, then inflation is just a setback to your struggles that you're having already. So yeah, and the story went on to mention about Black people feeling the brunt of it, because when from 2009 till 2019, right before C-19 happened, we weren't doing well even during that particular decade. And now the C-19 came, and here we are with all of this. So it mentioned in the story that, Black people were not doing well. We did not see any type of, and I get it. Some have, not saying all. Some did, their quality of life, standard of living, their income may have rose, their wealth may have increased, but a lot, in my opinion, I'm saying the word a lot, did not see any type of benefit from the 2009 to 2019. Per this article, probably did not see a whole lot of wealth accumulation, etc., during that particular time. So for our group, my group, we were already struggling, and now it's just compounded. So it is a setback. It is a setback. Ooh. Okay, Jerry. But yeah, that's all that I have for you all today. Once again, it is that time of year, folks. It is that time of year. And just please try to remember, for you, yourselves, your family, all that good stuff, the reason for the season. I did a live this morning with regards to, do you go to church, or maybe do you do some type of religious thing, on Christmas? And I think some people do it prior to Christmas, and they go someplace, or used to go someplace, and now, it's all on the internet, the radio, TV, etc., because of C-19 and a host of other things, transportation issues, etc. People can't get out, health issues, a whole host of things. But yeah, the reason for the season, don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that, folks. Real big, and I get it. We got the consumerism going on. It's so commercialized, and it has been for quite a period of time. But don't forget the reason for the season. And be kind to folks, like I was mentioning, people here. Inflation is causing, and may be causing, hopelessness and helplessness, anxiety, depression, etc. And be mindful. Have a kind word, a smile, or something for folks when you are out and about, because you never know what folks are going through. Like I mentioned, or tried to mention each and every live, folks may have lost someone, or a pet, a good friend, however they lost it. Not saying that the person died, but they were no longer able to be friends or acquaintances, etc., associates with a particular person, and that may be weighing on their mind. Please make sure that you're being mindful of that. And for those that are less fortunate, if you are able to donate and give, whatever, whenever, however you can, then do such. And it doesn't just have to be here and now. Of course, you get the bigger point of what it is that I'm saying. I want to try to do and give when we can. It doesn't have to be during the particular holiday season. And I know that Thanksgiving is over, and when I'm doing my silent lives, I say, still thankful. Hopefully so I am. Of course, just for life itself, all of that good stuff, folks. Thank you all so much for being here. Please have a great remaining rest of your day. And don't forget to always, ladies and gentlemen, to do something for yourself each and every day that is a benefit solely to yourself. Self-care is very important in all the areas, mental, physical, emotional, spiritually, all the areas. Very important, folks, very important. And we definitely want to see everyone back in 2024, of course, if the Lord is willing, just like he allowed us, you and me, to see this day. The Lord is willing. And the old folks always add, and if the creek don't rise. I heard that. Not an ageist thing. I heard that, folks. But yes, thank you all so much for being here. I do appreciate your time. Take care. Keep the faith, folks. Keep the faith. Safe care is very important. Miss Patty, exactly right. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye. Thanks to all for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.